Hi! I've been recently asked to answer some questions about stage makeup and fantasy makeup, which I did start to post on my Facebook with little pictures and like descriptions, where I answered all the questions. But then I figured that that's a better, thing to do on video. So I will make videos with those same pictures that I used and just, use them like in a little box as reference and just, elaborating on the whole thing again, but live. So my first topic was talking about scars because of the last character that I did. That was kind of Mad Max kind of alien futuristic character, and with like pitch black eyes, and since she is a combat character, she has like this scar that goes from the crease of her nose like down to her cheek, and like it's like forking in one spot. And the scar that I did was very efficient. There are many ways that you could do special effects scars. You can have them pre-made and then applied, or you can apply them directly to your face using different kinds of materials and application techniques. The technique that I used was like with modeling wax. I mean, that's the material that I use, but since modeling wax reacts to body heat and it's like summer and it's super hot outside, I decided to make a little seal, a thin coat of liquid latex that I put over modeling wax, so it will hold in place and I will not have to worry about like a chunk of it falling off, especially because that was a character that I did for a fire show, and at one point flames were very close to my face, and you can never be too sure. So for safety, just for safety, I made that seal. And I know that sometimes seals can crack, and that just doesn't look good, especially if they crack immediately. That means that your technique is bad. So the baseline is that the success of any stage makeup is in the eye of the perceiver, just like the beauty. And if it reads what you intended to make, you've actually pulled off a successful stage makeup. And that depends on several factors, like main factors, like the light off, the position of the light and its intensity, matching tones of the scar with your skin tone, the texture of the scar, how realistic change would look on the skin if you have like a blood vessel that died under the skin, or a bruise or skin irritation or something like that. And the choice of materials and the technique that you use to make it. And if one factor changes, it will most likely pull the other ones along. One of the most important factors that I like actually to call a rule is if you move, your scar moves with you, just like any real scar would. So if you make a lot of frowny faces, which I did make in the scar test video that I posted last night, it just reads, real. If your scar or the seal on the scar cracks when you or your model moves, you will have to, if you don't want to change your technique, do a touch-up. Or if it does happen, you can actually try to make it like you intended to make that skin change, as the skin is peeling off, so it's more like a gory than an actual scar. It will more resemble a laceration than a scar that once was a laceration but now is scar tissue. So the choice of the materials is crucial there, and pick well so you can make that elastic goodness that will move with whichever body part you want to put your scar on, and without cracking. So if you're making a seal at all, modeling wax doesn't need sealing generally, but in like conditions such as super hot weather, seals are good. So if the seal does crack in the first like hour, do a touch-up, or do that I made to do this, I intended to do this skin cracking thingy. And you will do that with different levels of shading, from like black and red and purples and greens, and you know, wherever you want to go with your makeup. Another thing that I posted in this photo, this reference photo, is that if you're wearing sclera lenses, don't wear them more than 5 or 6 hours. You can actually see like the redness in the corner of my eye, because that was like 5+ hours of wearing them on Sunday, plus the whole thing with like smokes and fires and shit, and you know, just my eyes were so irritated. I really couldn't wait to get them off at that point. And yeah, another thing that I wrote about was that every makeup has their party and their after party, as I like to call it. And the party is the time span where your makeup sits perfectly on your face or body part or whatever, moves along with it and is totally natural. And the after party is that point when it starts to like crack or lose color intensity or texture. So I've been working on sets where I had to be like available for 14 or more hours to do touch-ups. And when you do a touch-up, you fix your seal and you also fix your coloring after, I mean, you're doing a touch-up on an already finished makeup. So you have to like, you know, work on the color. For one scar that's thick about 1.5 centimeters, you will need up to like 6 different shades of skin tone that also, like, you know, they're implying to redness and like, you know, bruise or whatever. The shadows and the highlights, never forget those. And while you're doing a touch-up, do at least 3 of those. I also wrote, yes, about texture. Pay attention if while you're doing a touch-up you're changing the texture of your piece, because that will affect the overall look of the makeup. If you're like looking at it from different angles and the texture doesn't read realistic, then you have to touch that up too. And everything is always like, you know, combined. So furthermore, if the piece looks real and reads real from every angle, whatever you wanted to say with your like appliance, even from like, you know, angles that are like the complete, you know, like full-on bottom angle or full-on upper angle, or like weird angles where weird shades of your face and bodies are made, if it reads real, then it's good. It's like Obama face. Because you need to keep in mind that stage makeup, just like hair and costume and props, even body modifications, whatever, are the essential part of your character. If they're working together and reading realistically what you wanted to pull off, that is the maximum enhancement of your character makeup. And it, you know, it's going under all those basic aesthetic rules and like art rules that any other piece of the costume does. So pay attention to your makeup and, you know, give it a lot of credit, and stay cool and ask anything you would want me to talk about or make a tutorial or like whatever. Also tell me if you would like me to continue making these in English, or like my Serbian friends would like me to do some in Serbian, or to combine the two, whatever. It's cool with me. This is my first video, so